Hey, is it hot?
The Wade and Carter Show is a paid programming, and KHMC Magic 95 assumes no responsibility for its content.
Musings from Mexico, pool watching, Cowboys, and a whole lot more coming up in the days. Wade and Carter Show. 39 the next night?
Do.
Is that legit? A 39 on Wednesday night? We will rebuild the winner of 2020.
Time to pull out your sweater.
You're going to lose your tan on Wednesday. Oh, welcome back, amigo.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Glad you're back.
I am
This
too.
thing seems real hot today.
It did seem a little hot.
There we go. I think we're better now. How's life, man?
Very well, very good, very rested. I woke up on a Friday morning and asked Dawn, "Is it Thursday?" And I said, "Okay, I'm ready to go home now."
You woke up on a plane?
Yeah, yesterday. Coming back, there was a kid that cried the whole flight. I'm like, "Give that kid a tortilla, will you? Shut that kid up."
Something. Piece of gum.
Who takes a wife and 3 kids below the age of 5 to Cabo that's not moving there? Who does that? Nobody with any sense. There's absolutely nothing for children to do there. There's nothing for them to do.
Hang out in the kiddie pool while mom and dad
Yeah,
get wasted in the adult pool.
And then you start thinking, well, maybe they've just got so much money that they just don't care. No, if they did, they'd be flying private. Nobody goes to Cabo
Or first class.
with little kids. That's the dumbest people on the planet.
Let's do this.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great friends at Deerland Feed. I missed them while I was gone. I got back. I found a couple of ant beds in the backyard. Bam. Going by there today, picking up some Amdro, go home, take care of that.
Mosquitoes still a problem? They got
Yes.
stuff for that too.
75 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of only 84. And then it's going to start cooling off 39 in the morning on Wednesday. So, 39 people.
Yeah, the winter 2020.
Yeah, 1939. 1939, Hitler invaded Poland, and the Aggies won their only football national championship. 5-0 that year, the Big Eggs. Yep, it's a big deal.
5-0.
5-0.
So where do you want to begin? Your a little recollection. Well, first off, we never do this, but I gotta wish my beautiful wife a happy anniversary.
Well, and we can do that because your wife is she's a wonderful lady. She's a great mother, and she's your best friend. And I think Cheryl.
Sorry, Jacob.
Sorry, J-Dub. Tune that out. Your best female friend, and I think it's awesome. Congratulations. Was it 20 what? 4?
24. Yeah.
So next year's a big one.
Yeah.
She'll probably can you by then.
Remember when your parents got to 25 and you were like, wow, that seems like forever.
It was.
And then
Like they were like in their 40s.
And then you're like there.
Good for you.
Yeah. And we never do birthdays, but I got to wish my Auntie B a belated birthday too.
There you go.
She'll tune in, after we're off because she wakes up and then watches the show.
Happy birthday, Annie B. So, I'll just tell you, I go down to Mexico now, and Dawn and I are blessed. We go in there quite a bit. So, I don't ever fall for all the tourist stuff now. I'm a local, Like, I don't come back sporting T-shirts,
No, I noticed
stuff like that.
It's an old one.
Yeah, and we don't go into all the little. We go into the local haunts now. We go where the locals are. So every restaurant I went into, I saw somebody from Victoria this week. The best place we ate was a place called
The 3 people you went with?
Yeah. The best place we went to. No, I kept running into like Ray and Marcy Bridges, Scott and Daniel Taylor, Bruce Chappell was there. So we went to the best place we went was a place called Salvatore's. It was absolutely the best Italian food I've had anywhere. Which really? If you think about it.
Except you've never been to Italy.
Well, yeah, but
close.
Italian food in Mexico, there's no reason for it to be any better or worse than Italian food in the U.S., right? It's just happens to be in Mexico.
There is a very good Italian place in Puerto Vallarta as well.
I would believe it.
Actual Italians who immigrated from Italy to Mexico.
I probably got kicked out of Italy.
It got too expensive to live in Italy.
So I would never shop or do any of the kitsch or any of that stuff. So with that said, here's your T-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, fairly good.
You want me to open this up?
Well, you can. I got it specifically for you,
Oh, that's really
specifically from the vendor for you.
specifically for me, and it's a size too small.
No, it's
No,
a
I'm just
large.
kidding.
It's perfect.
Just kidding.
It's perfect for you. I know.
That's how well you know me. You don't even know what
I've bought you
size.
t-shirts before. I like it. It's just very neutral, very fallish. You know, speaking of fall, if it's 39 degrees,
Is that a
on
sailfish
Wednesday,
or a shrimp?
that is a sailfish. We're going to be a prawn. We're going to have to rebuild after the winter of 2020, which commences on Wednesday morning and then is summarily dismissed about noon.
Yeah,
39 degrees, though. That's crazy.
that is pretty low. With no frost warning, but still.
No.
It'll. What do they call that? Han Solo weather?
Is that
Because the vests and
okay?
and the high
Solo.
boots will come out.
See, that's Canadian stuff.
CW Bean checking in. It took a while for all the comments to show up. I don't know what was happening
I
there.
don't
Justin
know.
Glass, good morning. Stephen Kidder says,
Thank you,
welcome
Steve.
back. Chris Conrad,
Thank
good
you.
morning. Judge Posey checking in.
Good morning, Judge.
Karen Webb, good morning. BJ Nelson says the gang's all back.
That's right. The gaggle. What do they call it when they're a what of crows?
Oh, I don't know what a crow's.
Andy knows. What do they call a group of crows? It's not a herd or a flock. It's a gaggle, isn't it?
Gaggles geese.
What is it? Somebody knows. Crows. Tell us.
Heather Monroe, good morning. Matt Boucher.
I bet Matt Boucher knows.
Lisa Poole, Bobby Leister, good morning.
Thank you, Bobby.
Steve Kidder says we can skip the Cowboys Texans talk. Yeah, we can't. Sorry.
You know, every time you say Texans, I think DeAndre Hopkins. And then I think, no wonder Bill O'Brien's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, Hopkins.
Traded your best player for nobody.
Yeah. Cowboys now, I'm convinced, we don't have to talk about the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are tanking it now to get into the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. That's what I really think is happening.
I think they're taking.
Yeah, here's what they're going to do. The Cowboys are going to lose a lot of games and end up with Trevor Lawrence, and they're going to go ahead and franchise Dak one more year at 37 and change, and then Dak will be gone. That's what's going to
You're
happen.
going to franchise a guy that won't even be able to play next year?
He'll play next year.
He won't play next
I
year.
bet you he does. I bet you he does.
Here's the problem with the Cowboys.
They ain't got no defense.
Well, they got no defense. That's been a problem for the Cowboys for as long as I can remember lately. I mean, I think the very first show we did, we talked about how bad the Cowboys defense was, and it hasn't improved much. Especially their secondary, which still
I wonder if that
struggles.
blogger girl is still blogging.
I don't know.
Remember her?
Yeah, Cammie Griffin.
Yeah, I think she was pretty sharp. I wonder how she's spinning this if the Cowboys are still
I
decent.
don't know. Yeah, well, they're not. But the problem is, I don't think the Cowboys are bad enough to lose enough games. They've already won more games than probably the team that'll be the worst team in the NFL.
Which would be who?
Cincinnati.
Is Cincinnati worse?
I don't know.
Is that somebody calling us?
Yeah, somebody's calling us.
Good morning, caller. You're right in the middle of our show here. What's going on? Oh, that's BJ
BJ Nelson.
That chuckle lets me know that's okay. You can call Ms. Nelson. That's fine.
Yeah. The Jets are 0-7. Cincinnati's only won one game.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tough.
Talk to me. What's happening? What did H.R. Mallory do? To get the back straps. He's a fine guy and a great friend, and it doesn't surprise either Ash or I that he would do that. It really doesn't.
No.
That's how HR rolls. He's a great guy. So good. Everybody was okay, though. Nobody was hurt.
Except the deer.
Right. Had the vehicle been disabled, who would you have called? Allen's Wrecker Service. 578-6300. That a girl. Well, hey, thanks
Thanks,
much.
BJ.
And we just passed that along, and I'll see you this week. Good job.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate it.
Hey, way to go, HR. Not surprised at all. That's I've seen and maybe it's just because I've gotten so old now that they kind of go, they call you sir and stuff. But I think that there's been, and he
Who
never
calls you sir? The deer when you hit him?
know that, like with the troopers, they pull me over a lot. Some of them call me Brent. There seems to be a mellowing philosophically of the state troopers office. It used to be. And I guarantee you Don Posey will agree with this. It used to be if a trooper took the time to pull you over, you were getting a ticket. That's just the way it was. A cop could pull you over, talk to you, and let you go. If a trooper pulled you over, you were getting a ticket.
Not from my experience.
Well, they were, that KGB. So I have a 100 Club sticker. You've got like a KGB sticker. They think twice. They walk up on your vehicle.
We refer to it in this country as the 1,000 Club sticker.
Right. Plus, your car is what's a Russian brand? Is it a Russian brand? Politskora?
Yeah, I don't even know it.
Something like that. So let's do this. We're going to get out of our routine. We're going to bring Andy in, Andy Rockovic, friend of Victoria, come in and
take our first break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break while you walk in, while you get in here, so as not to minimize
up the stairs, down the stairs.
Come in from the green room. He's already been drinking. 578-6300. That's Allen's Wrecker Service. Allen is your go-to tow-to. You know that. You knew while I was gone. Didn't know what we would have done. Like if our shuttle bus in Mexico would have gone down, I couldn't have called Allen. Gave me anxiety.
Aren't you on like a one-lane cliff road?
No,
there.
I'd love to tell you. I promise you, top to bottom, the roads of Cabo San Lucas trump everything in Victoria unbelievably. I'll get to that in a little while. My musings on Mexico, which is vastly superior to this whole of a town that we call home. Let me tell you that Allen will come out, secure your scene, make sure you're safe. Get your vehicle where you need to go, whether that be Atzenhofer's, where they have a paint and body shop and service all makes and models. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, they've got them all.
They do.
Used vehicles.
Pre-owned, all you need.
Pre-owned, used. They have pre-owned and used. The used get sent out to the auction. The pre-owned, they get
Sold
cleaned
to you.
up and sold back to you. Reach out to the Atzenhofer dealership since 1926, Victoria's dealer. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer now promoting the iPhone 12.
Discounts for first responders at the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer.
Reach out to them today right there on Kerr Boulevard, just inside the loop off Main Street. They're right there. VCS for all your surveillance and security and monitoring needs. If it's electronic and you need it, whether it be surround sound, a home theater, whatever, you reach out to them and the VCS companies will get you in the right direction. And then enjoy it all from a brand new recliner that you can pick up for 50% off as they celebrate 100 years in Victoria at Chesnick Furniture Company, 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge. Chesnick, you just do better at Chesnick.
Chesnick and Love.
Make your house a home.
Yeah. Not just recliners, 50% off all furniture.
Yeah, fantastic. They also got bedding and they have Tempur-Pedic. They've got televisions and what else?
Accoutrement.
Nice. For our friends in Quebec. Missed all of our friends. Got our friends in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, our friends in Newfoundland, friends in British Columbia, Pete, Montana.
They had about a foot of snow Saturday morning my brother woke up to in Calgary.
You see the difference, folks. We're going to have like a little boop of winter on Wednesday. It's going to be 39 degrees. And then that's it. We go back to summer. In Canada, it's just the opposite. And you choose. Where would you rather live? I'm not talking about snow skiing weather. I'm talking about stay in the house, Alice.
Yeah, wind chills in the minus 20s,
Yeah, that's
which is,
dumb.
yeah, that's like, that's
People
pushing.
don't live there.
That's pushing 20 below Fahrenheit.
That's
That's
for
just,
the moose and mounties. That's all it ought to be. The guy in the little red jacket with the little leather thing going across there.
well, he was Sergeant Preston with the Yukon, right?
So what do? I'm going to turn on Andy's
Yep,
mic.
turn on Andy's mic.
Never
Welcome
know.
to the show.
Don't ever know what's going to happen when I do that. Okay, the mic is on.
How are
Good
you?
morning, Andy.
You gotta talk. You gotta get right into that
Andy
thing right there.
Orakovich.
You can move that thing around. There you go.
Is it?
What's on this list?
I put a Lysol on it.
We clean them up every morning.
We'll get around to our take on COVID. By the way, I'll just go ahead and share it with you. This COVID thing is coming back, okay? It's going to be fall. It's going to be, look, if you're old, if you're fat, if you have comorbidities, practice social distance, wear your mask, stay in large groups.
So check
Wash
two
your
of
hands.
those 3 boxes off for you.
Right. I am going to heighten my awareness. I'm going to give more fist bumps and shake hands, and I'm going to go on about my life.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get paranoid, lock it down. If you think everybody ought to wear a mask, hey, Biden Harris, man, go with it.
Yeah.
Let your 8 votes count in this county. But I'm telling you that the idea that the federal government needs to mandate to me as a Texan that I need to wear a mask or that I need to mandatory, that is all BS.
Brad Miner says, thanks, bud. He's screwed.
So that's done. Yeah, you know what, Brad? Be careful. Be careful, Brad. If you're going to get sick, be careful. But Brad might be the last one to tell me to put a mask on over here because he's going to get sick over there. So speaking of getting sick, we're concerned about our election and you're involved in some way. I really don't know. So just start at the beginning and tell us. And you have 27 seconds now.
27 seconds. Well, I've been tasked with the Trump campaign to take a group of people, or as many as we could, from this area, and we're going to go to Pennsylvania. And we're going to be basically poll watching and monitoring the election. Obviously, Pennsylvania is a real key state.
A battleground state.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's home state. He's a Scranton boy.
Yep. But he's been in D.C. for 47 years, but he's like Al Gore as a Tennessean.
And Delaware for how many beyond that? Yeah.
Yeah. We've done this before going down there, but there's a whole lot that's changed this time around. We're much more concerned about the actual election itself. Normally, we would be in conservative areas helping to get out the vote, but we're putting a lot of energy actually into the blue areas to help secure the vote. So it's a very different process for us this go around. We need more bodies. So
Well,
I think we've done good.
enlighten our listeners to something that you heard or are well aware of. You were sharing it with us prior to the show about some shenanigans going on in Harris County, I believe.
Yes, someone had just reported a poll watcher not for the Trump campaign, but for a local election campaign. And he was also a former peace officer for 30 years. And he was there monitoring the election. And while he was there, he observed a stack of driver's license that the election officials were using. And occasionally they would grab a license out of that stack and scan it for a ballot and give a car that ballot that didn't have their own license to present. That's being looked into. It's very, very current reports, but we're going to see where that goes.
No, I'm being honest. I'm asking you.
So not only
You Republican or Democrat? Who do you think was going on there? I mean, you think I was a Republican going, hey, take this license and go, or do you think I was a Democrat just trying? I know what you would vote if you had time to vote, and
Yes.
I know you're votophobic, so we'll vote for you. Go Biden Harris.
potentially, is there not another crime going on there? If they didn't have a license
And that's,
and then they're giving them a license, aren't they now driving without a license?
that's actually what this gentleman said, the peace officer. He said, I didn't know because I'm there as a pollster, but I'm also a peace officer. And it is very much illegal just to possess IDs like that, get alone what you're using them for. And he didn't know what to
Interesting.
do, if I should just arrest them or if I should report this.
It's amazing.
You know what? I wish he would have done both because, boy, that would have blown the lid off of it.
Yeah.
Why
It's a murder of crows.
a murder of crows. Thank you, Clint.
This is a murder.
It makes. I mean, what do you call that?
Everybody knew that, but the two
What do
guys
you call
on the
that?
show.
Maybe it's dementia, but what do you call that when I could give you a list of 1,000 words and you'd go through that list and go, that's it. It's murder. You would know. You would recognize it, but you don't.
Because you just not remembering. You've heard the word.
Huh?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
58.
Yeah.
There you go.
I couldn't remember it either.
Thank you, Pat McDonald. It's great to be back. Well, I tell you, it's certainly criminal with the ID passing out on probably at least one level. It's election rigging.
Yeah.
But then you've also, like you say, you got people driving without a license, you got people impersonating somebody at a poll. That's got to be illegal, saying there's somebody when you're not.
Yeah, there's all kinds of crimes going on here in that scenario. And these are the things we're going to be looking for in Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia.
Be careful. I mean, really, you might get you. I mean, are you going to be there the night that the elections?
Yes, Pennsylvania doesn't have early voting. They are doing a large mail-in voting, so that we'll be there on the 1st and 2nd to watch some of the mail-ins being open and how they handle that.
That's got to be. I mean, it could be.
If the
ugly.
lines are as long as they're expecting, you could be standing there for 5 till November 5th or 6th.
Yeah. Pennsylvania, they like I said, they don't have early electing or early voting. So
Have they opened up more polling places? Do you know?
I think they're limiting them. Last go around,
To what they can
everywhere.
manage?
They're literally everywhere.
They're trying to make it so what? they
What,
can
a
manage.
Democrat state limiting polling places and not accommodating early voting and COVID?
Yeah.
What? I thought that was only Republican states that did that,
Keith Williams
especially if you
says.
listen to the media.
Keith Williams says the Pennsylvania Supreme Court determined mail-in votes cannot be discarded, even if these signatures don't match, after allowing ballots to be received 3 days after the election.
Yeah, I've got a real problem with some of this, and I get it. And some states are allowing them to be admitted without a legible postmark, which I wonder if the IRS would allow you or not fine you if the postmark was illegible and it arrived on 3 days after the 15th of April. I wonder if the IRS would give you the grace of not fining you for a late tax return. I highly doubt it, yet we're expecting the same grace here. Here's the problem I have with this. You've got people that have been clamoring that they needed to be able to request their mail-in ballot way earlier than normal, right? So they can get the ballot early, but for some reason they're going to have problems returning it on time.
Yeah.
The logic to that just doesn't make any sense in my mind. If you got it early, you should. What are you sitting on the damn thing for?
Right.
If it was so important to get earlier than normal and to be able to get one aside from all the other ways that you normally could get a mail-in ballot,
Mm-hmm.
then what the hell are you sitting on a ballot for in some cases 6, 7, 8 weeks?
Sure.
Makes perfect sense.
And a lot of these things really matter, but what we're seriously looking for is just a straight up fraud.
Oh, you mean like what was just witnessed in Harris County?
Exactly. It's just straight fake voting. You know,
Are you needing people to go
it's not
with
about a
you?
signature at that point because it's just a fraudulent ballot.
Frank Mejia says he's working in Del Rio. He says, I'm eight miles from Mexico. He said, the town is crazy for Trump. 90% Hispanic and 90% Trump supporters.
You know, our internal results right now, our exit polling, is actually phenomenal. I think Minnesota's going right.
Well, they've got to be tired of Ilhan Omar and that loony mayor they've got up there. And I mean, come on, the governor's an idiot. I mean, Minnesota, who would have thought? Minnesota?
Klobuchar was her senator.
Just a joke. And you know what it is? I mean, it's just, well, equal opportunity.
The economy doesn't lie.
That's exactly right.
No, and I think if the president probably, if he would have just hammered the point that everything was going great till COVID, and reminded folks of that, I think it would have helped
Jeff
instead of
Fonseca
playing
said Teddy
into.
High. He's an absolute regular. And is he a top fan? So he's
Yeah,
top fan?
I think he is.
Top fan.
Let's see. Yep,
Sure.
top fan, of course he
He's
is.
there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I struggle with some of the rules that have been bent. I would say
They're
for
all
the
being
early-
twisted.
for the mail-in votes.
They're
I struggle.
not being twisted to assist those who intend to vote Republican. They're not. That now doesn't mean that the rules that are being bent around won't necessarily help a Republican, but it's not the Republicans that are whining about this.
It's really all meant for chaos. Any distraction, any cause to complain or delegitimize what's going on is what they're doing. And that's what they've been doing for decades.
So
Chaos.
then give me your take on Frank Mejia says he's a top fan. No,
No,
Frank,
you're not,
you're
Frank.
not.
It's not.
How do you take, hello, Sheriff Louderback. How do you take,
Frank might not reach the height
There's a
requirements
height
to ride the
requirement.
ride and be a top fan.
let anybody below 56 inches has to wait. What about when you look at like what's going on with the Supreme Court right now? See, that's going to give you one of my perspectives from Mexico. Nobody in Mexico, nobody that I spoke to suggested that we should wait until the election to decide who our next Supreme Court justice should be. And once I was gone for a couple of days and I got to think about it, the idea that the Democrats are just straight up whining, wetting their pants and whining. Well, we don't control the Senate. So it's not fair for the president to nominate a Supreme Court justice because we can't block her.
Yeah.
First of all, not another guy.
They could if they didn't change the rules.
Well, the fact of it is
They're regretting that now.
They had 8 years of Obama's idiocy and lost the Senate. So all of a sudden, that's the price you pay. Elections have consequences.
Well, and justices didn't die or step down. So, I mean, they were,
They held on as long as they could.
It's the most important thing Trump can do, and I'm thankful he's doing it before the election.
I'll be honest. If Donald Trump were to lose this election, the fact that the 3 justices he has nominated would be worth his 4 years in office. And I've said this before. I don't believe that there's any chance. I don't know which is more vulnerable, Roe v. Wade or the Second Amendment. There's no chance either one is going to be touched. They're untouchable. So relax, people. If you need to get an abortion, just trot on down there. Just don't expect the government to pay for it.
I just think we need as many as we can. Last 17 Supreme Court justices, I believe only 5 of them were actually appointed by Democrats, and look at them make it work.
Right. And it's, by the way, our court is very, very liberal, which may be where they need to be. I mean, maybe they need to always lean on the side of tolerance. What I feel what these hearings show me is there's a whole nother strata of much, much smarter people than I up there that are doing things. From Gorsuch to Kavanaugh to this Bennett may be the sharpest of all of them.
Yeah.
Chad Higginbottom says he's going to look into Keith Williams' claim that we read earlier about the votes, but he asked a question: does "cannot be discarded" translate into "must be counted"?
Cannot be discarded translates to "must be
The
counted."
ballots that come in 3 days late cannot be.
I think
discarded
must
can be discarded for a certain reason. There will be discarded ballots.
But they can't just get rid of it because it came in 3 days late.
Spot, I would actually tend towards agree with that. I mean, we're going to have 1,000 handwriting experts.
Right. So you leave what day?
We're leaving Saturday, but we'll be in Philadelphia Sunday.
So if somebody wanted to join you, BJ Nelson comes to mind as somebody who's very active in our political process. And let's say that Ms. Nelson said, I want to go monitor those elections. They reach out to you. Give them how you want them to reach you. Phone number, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's the easiest way. Andy Rockovich, Facebook.
He says the easiest way. Can't spell his name, but it's the easiest way.
I think in my phone I put a J in there somewhere.
I'm pretty sure Brent and I are friends.
Yeah, we're friends. Stop. Yeah, Andy Rockovich. Just find him on Facebook, and what he's going to tell you is you need to be in Philadelphia at this time. We'll have a rallying point, probably meet at the Liberty Bell, have a couple of beignets, and go on. That makes perfect sense.
It does.
Makes perfect sense. Jeremy Pena says, morning, Broski.
Morning.
That'd be
Broski.
Yeah. I forgot he was Polish. Hey, so thank you for coming by. Good luck with what you do. Maybe give us a call in. You know the 575-9509. Call us from up there and say, hey, you can't believe what we just saw.
I'll do it.
You can be like Wolf. You're like under a desk. There's gunfire everywhere.
Yeah. If I'm going Facebook Live, though,
right.
That's when there's a problem.
That's right. One more thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you mind if I get a little plug out there?
Feel free.
I just want to give a shout out. The new location for 5D Steakhouse is going to be opening November 14th in Port O'Connor.
And you're going to be on site.
I'll be there. I'll be there for a little while.
Nice.
Hey, do it like Matthew McConaughey. Seriously, just don't bathe for like a week. It's like, hey, dude, come on in. Casual's the new formal.
Right.
Port O'Connor, right? There'll be golf carts around, golf cart parking.
Oh, the place is beautiful. I don't know. Have you seen the location?
I have not. I know the corner that Douglas just bought like a block.
Yeah.
You know,
it's got a very large outdoor children's area. Just several places. That's a big outdoor stage.
COVID area, COVID free.
Oh,
Right.
Absolutely. It sounds right.
Sure.
You got to have some place for the kids.
Yeah.
It's like the kiddie pool, the swim up bar, next to the swim up bar in Cabo.
Right. You're right there at the old kiddie pool. Keith said, oh, snap, 5D and POC. All right, Keith, stop. That's enough. All right, so plan on it. November
14th.
So go down, plan now to go down and celebrate President Trump, I'm sure we won't have any election results by the 14th, but
Oh, we will.
I don't know.
This is going to be it. This is gonna be
There
it.
won't be any rioting in Port O'Connor either way. So go down there and enjoy it. Thank you for coming by. Safe travels. Be
Yeah.
well.
Appreciate it, Andy. Thank you, man.
Choose better friends.
I'll try.
And we'll talk soon. Be good.
See y'all.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Safe
That's
travels.
Andy Rogovich, very, very involved, very, very much a good guy, very, very much an asset to Victoria.
It's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that we people from here going all the way up there. That's how much they care about the electoral process and making sure that it's fair. Andy and them doing this out of their own pockets. If you want to help and make a donation to their cause, they would appreciate that as well.
Of course, and he works in the Trump campaign. He's got, a role like this. It's his role to organize this type of activity. Very well done. Today, folks.
If he was a Democrat, he'd be known as a community organizer.
Right. He'd be like Barry Obama.
Instead, they try to refer to the guys like Andy as like the brown shirts.
Right. Yeah. He's more of, a Bolshevik.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how they
Right.
portray and
Isn't that funny?
compare.
He's a community organizer. He's just getting friends together. He's a riot leader.
Yeah.
That Rogovich, he's a Republican. He's leading a mob.
Yeah.
Speaking of the mob, you better beat the mob today. You want to get to Veracruz, you better get in there and beat the mob because
Back open
Lee
this
and
week?
Ida are back. It's my fault. Veracruz was closed last week as I drug them with me to Cabo San Lucas. The food is phenomenal.
And he was here.
Many. They say that when they're gone that long, Minnie fires people. So they just had to close it down to keep their staff
Because
together.
many would have fired them.
Oh, like Ida says all the time, I would have fired Lee years ago, but I still got to pay for him. So I was put him to work.
That caused a little bit of friction in the bedroom.
Absolutely. By the way, I got chastised for promoting. Imagine this. We created too much demand for the enchilada casserole.
Really?
And somebody walked in like on a Friday afternoon and wanted one. And she said, you've got to give me a little heads up. So 576-6015, 576-6015. If you want to pick up an enchilada casserole, Lee and Ida will make it for you. Handmade with love, perfectly preserved in an aluminum tin.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not just pulling them off some
No.
food delivery truck frozen and then fire them in the oven and here you go.
Look at that, Brad. I'm not eating ice. My wife prohibits it. I was good in Cabo.
Were you?
No ice in Pacifico Light.
True.
Veracruz today. Razor IT Solutions. Special personal shout out to JP Hull for coming in and filling in more than admirably. What a great
Yeah, we
co-host.
had fun
Y'all are
rehashing the debate.
making fun of me is what I heard. I heard lots of deprecating humor. It's okay. I don't do this for my ego.
59 minutes of the show content, you pick on the 1 minute you might have heard.
I just do it so my mom's money doesn't go to waste. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull can help you monetize your webpage. He can help you do all kinds of things. I've got an idea that I'm going to share with you that I think JP will be involved in. We talked about Atzenhofer White Trash Services, 550-1826.
BJ says she
Scott Nelson.
can't go to Philadelphia because the city bid is due November 5th and she's here working on it.
Folks, we're praying for it. If you have somebody that you feel like has any influence, please reach out. Let's get the city of Victoria to give their business to
White Trash Services.
White Trash Services. 550-1826.
Six
Right
County
now,
Region,
Holiday
Rockport,
Beach.
Holiday Beach.
reach out to them now and make that happen. I'll tell you what, it's Monday. Hello, caller. How are you?
Good morning.
Well, hello. Good morning. How are you? You just tell us about the birthday shout out. What do you want to know about it? I'll tell you what you do, ma'am. You just tell me what you want me to know, and I'll take care of it. Whose birthday is it going to be? John Delgado. Okay. And when's his birthday? Sunday, which would be, is that November 1st? November 1st. And is that your husband, your son, your Sancho? What do we got there? There you go. Fantastic. You know what you just did? You just registered him and we threw his name out there and now I don't know where the DJs are, but I'll tell you this.
Ralph will be here after 8. But
Ralph
make
will
sure
be
he
here.
gets it.
We'll make sure that you're done. Thank you so much, Ms. Delgado. You go
Okay.
ahead. We'll tell all our listeners to call you as soon as we hang up. All right, folks, listen. Tell me your number, 361. Yes, 8514. If you get some phone calls in the next couple of minutes, just ignore it. Don't answer your phone now because I'm going to tell everybody to call you. Okay, you have a great day, Ms. Delgado. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, just for grins, if you've got a cell phone, just really take turns and dial this number for me. Her number is 361-652-8514. 652-8514. I would, Jeremy,
Power of
everybody
radio.
call her. I would love for everybody to call her and just go, hey, tell John happy birthday on the 1st. 652-8514. That is phenomenal radio right there.
That's just
That's
old school radio.
Let her know the power of Magic 95.9.
No,
We
no.
didn't move the border moved us.
Almost felt like the old school trading post.
Right.
Where she got something to sell.
Yes, I've got this Chase Lounge. It's the one that looks like the jellies and you fold it over. Okay, so here's the BJ Nelson says that's called 652-8514. Hey, give her a call, folks.
Or text her.
No, text her be
Or
better.
the text.
Tell John happy birthday. Jeff says her battery's going to die. Wouldn't that be awesome if she got like 600 calls?
Pretty awesome.
Hey, Ms. Delgado, tell John happy birthday.
Make John feel good.
John would be happy.
Ms. Delgado might get mad at John.
She'll be okay.
Yeah, she'll be.
So we've got 36 minutes after the hour. Don't forget, start bending your mind that we have a time change coming up at the end of this week, right?
Yeah, I think Sunday.
Fall forward, fall back,
Fall back.
fall back. It's like
Get an extra
it's like
hour
French. It's like a French military exercise. You fall
Fall
back,
back.
Yeah.
Not quite a full retreat.
right? Just fall back.
Just falling back.
Gonna do the old Bonaparte. So here's an idea. Here's what I want to
Oh,
do.
is that what Hunter Biden calls it?
The Bonaparte. The Bonaparte. Tell me about Hunter. Did he really have like a sex tape? How could he perform with all that cocaine?
I have crack or whatever. I don't know. The screenshot was him with like a crack pipe in a dark room.
Hunter.
Just a shot of that makes you wonder if he even knew it was being recorded. Because apparently this was released from China, right, by the Chinese. So I'm assuming while he was over there
They
conjuring
sent
up his
to him.
$1.5 billion deal, they sent somebody to his room. And the Chinese are probably no different than the Soviets were in the 70s and 80s. You know that room is,
They're just 50 years later.
yeah, with their shenanigans and chicanery and skullduggery, pulling all the big words,
Right.
because it's Monday. You know darn well the room was bugged. You know darn well the room had hidden cameras. And that's the thing. In the 70s, the Soviets had that big thing in the corner that they would tell you was just an air conditioning unit, but it was really a camera.
Right.
And everybody knew it.
Chinese insurance, he says.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and
with you,
and here's something that really throws a twist to this whole thing. Joe Biden last week said he was going to get tougher on China because of the coronavirus. Oh, gee.
You know why? Because public opinion has been that President Trump is correct that China did, if not cause, they allowed this to happen and then exploited its event. And now Biden is saying, hey, I can't come off as cozy with China. I need to toughen up on China too.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden, oh, gee, here's a tape coming out that shows Hunter Biden in compromising positions. I'm assuming.
No pun intended.
No, well, it's called a sex tape, you would assume, right?
Right.
But
Only time he's been a missionary.
and praying.
Right.
But there was a group, and it was GTV.com released this.
Org, I think.
Or org, yeah, one of the two. Anyway,
Try both.
Gateway Pundit released it. I went so far as to get there, didn't watch the tapes. Don't really want to see that. Got no desire to see that.
It's like Bill Clinton didn't inhale.
Yeah, no, but the interesting part was reading the preamble. Supposedly,
The preamble to the prostitution.
yes, exactly. Supposedly,
This is
that was
good
nice.
stuff.
This
Yeah,
is good stuff.
Folks, are you listening quickly? This is off the top of my head here. I'm refreshed, tanned, rested, and ready. I'm like Dick Nixon in '76. I'm ready to run again.
Need to go to Cabo every second week.
Okay,
Yeah, tough sell, right?
I'm going.
Just tell me when.
Caleb Shaw, be ready. Caleb did a great job too, folks, didn't he?
Yeah, I did.
Let me get you Caleb's number. Y'all can all call him too.
But these folks apparently are Chinese Communist Party. They're in the Chinese Communist Party. They have access to this information, but they are not Chinese Communist Party sympathizers
Right. They're double
or
agents.
loyal. They are double agents. They're trying to expose the depths of which the Chinese Communist Party will go. And
So these might be people, Ash, that they're in the party because they were persuaded to be in the party after the party, say, picked up their parents and killed them or tortured them or whatever.
Well,
Everybody's
everybody's
like, hey,
in
you're
the
going to
party.
join the party.
yeah, I mean, everybody's in the party, but these people are deep into the party.
Party within the party.
And they are now exposing the Chinese government for its corruption and for what it is doing. And this is what they claim. Hunter Biden is not the only one.
Does
They have-
Epstein figure in?
They have tapes and emails and audio on a whole bunch of world leaders. And it isn't pretty. And they're holding them all hostage. This is how China has managed to grab its foothold around the world in a bunch of different things. It's not just the reverse engineering of all our products or being allowed to do business and everybody looking the other way as they steal all our trade secrets and then reverse engineer the products and then go and sell them around the world as Huawei cell phones, even though it's basically an Apple ripoff.
Right.
If what they're claiming is true, and I'm not getting into conspiracy theories, but you have to wonder when they're the ones that released the Hunter Biden tape to the world.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you middling kids. By the way, Jeremy Pena, I feel dirty for knowing who Mia Khalifa is, but I do.
But if what they're claiming is true, and the fact that they released this tape leads some credence to their claims, right?
Instead of just saying we got a tape, no, here's the tape.
Yeah. Boy, it makes you wonder what China has on the rest of the world. And you think if they would have had something on Trump, they would have released that, because if they're going to be mad at anybody, it would be Trump, right?
So you
At
think
this
that?
point.
Do you think that could come up? I'm always thinking about. I try to see. You know, we've joked in the past about the Earth could just be like a fleck of dust on God's fingernail, and that we put so much importance on ourselves, but
One
in the
day
big
he
picture we're
does.
nothing. And then you start looking at, like, is it possible that China rears its ugly head like in the next mayoral election in Victoria? Raleigh McCoy wants on a trip to China, and we're, candidate so-and-so on a trip to China. Was he videoed? I don't know. I've never been to China. Elect me. That kind of stuff. I just want to tell you.
I don't think they'll get to that level.
Well, I want to tell you, Victoria.
But I could think certain
I agree.
states,
I agree.
and certainly federal elections, national elections, they would be players in.
Let's don't overestimate. Let's don't lose friendships over politics. Certainly not in Victoria, because I don't know how to tell you that in the same breath that I tell you everybody's vote matters and what you do is important to the republic. I can tell you that Texas is going to vote for Donald Trump. Texas will remain red. I'm proud of the dissenting folks who I don't think they have any sense, but the dissenting folks who want to vote a different way, good for them for standing their ground. I've known people that have written in Willie Nelson before as president. It's a wasted vote, but if it makes you feel good, then go do it. But the reality of the situation is we get all worked up over what in the big picture ends up being somewhat insignificant. What I noticed walking around the streets of Cabo San Lucas, you could not find a cigarette butt. You could not find a piece of litter. It did not exist. Like, you're thinking Mexico, you're thinking the streets of Laredo. Forget it, folks.
Who cleans them up, though? Because
The
I noticed
people that own the shops are out front every morning with the whole town smells like Fabuloso.
Purple Fabuloso. by the way.
Absolutely. And they're out there with a brush, brushing, doing their job. And guess what else you don't see? Anywhere, man. Not you're in a city bustling with tourists. No panhandlers.
No, but,
No
they,
homeless
but they
people.
sell you stuff.
Very, very few, like, no, you think like little chicklet kids? None. Nobody offered me gum while I was there. Yeah, they'll come out and come across the street carrying a menu, asking you to come in and try their food. But they work. Only in America do we have generations of people that don't do nothing. Only here. You know why?
Is that double negative?
Yes, because it's that bad. They're double negative. They don't do nothing. Over there, everybody works. The government ain't gonna bail you out.
Well, their education system lacks a little bit too.
I tell you what, I'd rather have a whole bunch of people that work than a whole bunch of educated people that sit on their duff. Tell you what, that is the cleanest, most polite, friendliest, most faithful group of people I've ever been around in my life. I'd move down there in a heartbeat if I could speak the language.
Well, you
It'd take me
eventually
a
could.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
No kidding. They were awesome. Perfect. Now, there's no doubt it's a have and have not deal. Mostly have not. By our
That's why there's no
standards.
homeless, because they all live in a shanty town.
By our standards, yeah, but you know what? They've all got pride. They all work. And nobody wants you to feel sorry for them. I was most proud of not seeing the homeless people. Nobody laying around the street just going, can you just give me money? Because everybody has a job. And it ain't from the government. Well done.
It's because the government's corrupt.
Yeah, the government's real corrupt. No doubt America's a better system, but we just take it for granted and don't do anything with it.
No, we really do.
Why does our city look as trashy as it looks? Nobody drives through Victoria, Texas ever and goes, what a pretty little city. Let me just give you Greene, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Victoria. Which one doesn't belong?
LaGrange.
LaGrange, beautiful. You say LaGrange, I come off that hill, I drive around the curves, I go into town. Makes you want to get out and walk around, spend some money. Victoria, you just want to get through it. Clean this city up, you trashy people.
We ran away from the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
Cities like Sugar Land embraced it, developed around it.
Yeah, what do we got out there? A bunch of oil field buildings.
We ran away from it.
Could have had hotels, a convention center. Nah. Trashy place. And I encourage you to ask questions of your leadership. What's being done about it? Sneaking up on 2 years. I told you so way back when. Nobody listened. And when I leave town for a couple of weeks, I come back and go, yeah, same as it ever was.
1 week, not 2.
Same as it ever was.
BJ Nelson says because they don't have white trash services, the official trash service in Victoria.
That's exactly right. They should soon. Speaking of the official barbecue joint of the world,
Now
Uncle Bud's
open for-
Barbecue.
Now open for inside dining.
Perfect. About 11. Yeah, T-Line and I went in there right before we left town. We knew we weren't going to have a barbecue fix while we were gone. Uncle Bud's Barbecue. Every day they have a special, and it's good. And they're the
7 days
best iced tea in town.
About 11, they'll be open till 8.
Absolutely. Went services. Carl and his team will come out and help with the generator,
They'll be with anything.
plumbing, electric, solar panels,
Doesn't even have anything that big. They can do small projects for you as well.
battery backups, remodeling, new homes, commercial, residential, whatever you need.
More outlets because your room doesn't have enough. They can do that for you too.
You pay the rate, they'll come jump your car for you. Gray Barn Design, reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803.
Great Barn.
920-6803. That's Gray Barn Design. Cheryl.
Keep an eye on our Facebook page. She's going to be giving away some stuff here coming up.
Hope it's not
On
you.
the Great Barn. I don't think it's me yet.
And then, of course, Charlie Garcia, USA Concrete Coatings. You see his ads on the Cowboy games. He advertises well. If
Is
you
anybody
watch,
watching the Cowboys games right now?
they suck.
Charlie, double up over here. It might be worth
Yep,
might be
578
better
home.
investment.
578 home. You can also look up USA Concrete Coatings on Facebook,
Yeah.
and you'll see the before and afters they're stark.
They are
It's
stunning.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Reach out to him, and everything will be fine. Then, of course, Dwayne Proctor, GDP Techs, 550-4744. And all of our swag and banners. And I'm going by today to check on the swag and banners at Compadres Design. They've moved, folks. Compadres Design Inc. has moved up off Main Street.
Main Street, just south of Mocking.
Where the old, what was it called? Bouncy
Hang Time.
House, Hang Time, Bouncy House, whatever that was. There you go.
Victim of COVID.
Jeffrey Fonseca says, I just saw a White Trash Services truck. Man, they're out there. It's Monday morning. They're working. Yep.
So Amy Coney Barrett's going to be should be Senate confirmed today, I believe.
It should be a no-brainer. The vote was 51-48 to move forward with the vote, and that's probably what the vote will be.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's surprised by this.
And here's the deal. I think it's so interesting to me at that level. First of all, I always assume that every attorney is liberal. Now, they may call themselves conservative, and they may be a more conservative liberal than you're used to. But there's no such thing as a right-wing lawyer. They're just not. By definition, they err on the side of, you've got to prove it to me. They're always tolerant mentally. It's just the way they're wired. You get to be a judge, and this lady was appointed a federal judge, and everybody, you heard things. They tried to throw things at her, and this is the left. These are the Democrats. These are the tolerant, loving Democrats that we all know here in town. Oh, well, she probably just adopted those 2 Haitian kids to do her laundry. That's the kind of stuff they said about her. This is a Roman Catholic woman. They're not even Catholic. She and her husband
did teach at Notre Dame.
They had kids of their own. They had kids of their own. I think 5. Am I right? They had 5 of their own.
And then they adopted 2 of their own.
And they're all one.
I don't like to make that distinction.
No, and they don't either. They don't make the distinction that some
but
are
the
black
left,
and
but the
some
left
are
is
white.
quick to point out those distinctions.
Yeah, although they're the all-inclusive group. See, but they point out that they have 2 black kids. I don't know if they're black, if they're. I don't know if you call them black from Haiti. I don't know. So the next thing you know, they're saying, well, she just got the Haitian kids to do the laundry and work in the kitchen.
To advance her career. Yeah. So she adopted these kids years ago before she was even a sitting judge anywhere.
Right.
Because she was going to go to the Supreme Court.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Just shows the ignorance of the left, blinded by hate. And at the end of the day, this woman is going to be affirmed, and God bless her. I look at a guy like Brett Kavanaugh, and what was refreshing to me about Kavanaugh was when they dogged him about drinking beer and stuff. I'm like, oh, wait. The dude was human for a while? Because these people are like mental giants. They're like robots of intellect, to the point that I was just glad to see that he had a human side. He went to a party once.
Look, listen to the narrative. When Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, now Coney Barrett, every single one of them has been the same. Roe v. Wade is gone.
Yeah, they're just idiots. The left lives by promoting fear and chaos.
But I'll tell you what will be gone, and all you have to do is look around the world. What's happening now in this country, and the U.S. is really the last bastion of standing for freedoms and individual rights, because around the rest of the world, those ideals don't really exist anymore. And even in countries where you might think it's so. Canada doesn't have true free speech, folks. They have hate speech laws. Hate the speech as much as you want, but if you punish somebody for it, it's no longer free speech.
Right?
Right? The government is now taking action against somebody for what they say.
And it's all
that would
based
be a
on
direct
how
violation of our
people
First Amendment.
feel. It's all based on how people feel.
And you look at what Governor Newsom did, and he's trying to spin it now for Thanksgiving. Well, we're allowing up to 3 families to be together on Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
We've loosened that up.
We're the government. 3
of your relations can now bring their families over for Thanksgiving. It was only 2. You can't be inside. You've got to be outside. They're mandating what you can do on your own property, and you can't even be in your own house without violating the California COVID laws.
Get the people up.
And you don't think the idiots in California aren't going to be ratting out their neighbors when they're driving down the street and they got to park a half a house away further because everybody's going to be worst song of the 70s.
The Democratic Party.
Worst song of the 70s.
Oh, I bet we can find a worse one.
Muskrat Love.
Oh,
Worse.
Muskrat
But this is
Susie.
close. Catherine Tennille song, right?
They didn't make it.
But Californians need to be appalled at what the governor is doing
I love this. I love that you just talk, your voice kind of softened out, playing all your FM favorites. It's the Ash Welch Hour with your host, the real Ash Wade.
I gotta do that because I can't say that. That's just, folks.
Sometimes less is more. You let the song say it, so you don't have to express
More was too much. In that
right.
case.
Sorry, folks. I had a Democrat moment. Equal time here. By the way, we beg our Democratic leadership in this community to call. Where is Emmett Alvarez? Where is Emmett Alvarez? Biggest Democrat I know. I mean, being a Democrat is bigger than going to that taco joint once every Thursday and bitching about everything. 575-9509. They listen every day. Every day.
Well,
call and tell me what Joe Biden's going to do for this country. He's not Donald Trump.
Tell me what Ricky De La Fuente is going to do for this district that Michael Cloud is not doing.
How can anybody, I challenge anybody to call me and tell me how you're going to vote against. There you go. They cut off our video. How is anybody going to vote against Michael Cloud? Please tell me. I mean, whether you like Michael Cloud or not doesn't matter to me at all. And it won't matter in the course of this election because Michael Cloud's going to win with 99% of the vote. But how can you let a guy named Ricky De La Fuente that none of you know, none of you have ever met this dude because he doesn't live here. I'm voting for Ricky De La Fuente because he represents me. He doesn't represent you just because his last name is De La Fuente.
He doesn't even represent our Constitution.
No.
He blocks people from his Facebook page from commenting simply because they express a view he doesn't believe in.
Absolutely.
My wife is proof of that. There are others that are proof of that. Michael Cloud's Facebook page is full of hateful rhetoric from the left.
From idiots.
And he's never blocked them.
No.
They're still there
because they expose themselves. I hear people, I had a leftist person acting in ignorance said to me, well, y'all talk bad about the left. Y'all are polarizing and you don't let anybody else speak their mind. Lie, blatant lie. I put the phone number on the bottom of that Facebook page every day. Man, if you're willing to get in a car like the 6 of y'all did and drive around town and talk about riding with Biden, I mean, ball up, pick up the phone and let's talk about what Joe's going to do for America. I'm ready to hear it because it could happen. I'd like to have something positive to look for if that moron gets elected.
I'm positive he'll have less money to spend because he says he's going to reverse the Trump tax cuts. So he can slice and dice the semantics and say he's not going to raise taxes, but he actually will raise taxes as a result of that.
He's a liar. And I'll tell you something that I would never say because Joe Biden, I mean, that guy's been in office for 47 years. If he's elected, he'll be the oldest president in the history of the country. And I'm going to tell you that I didn't like Hillary Clinton. And in part, my vote for Donald Trump was a protest against Hillary Clinton. I voted against Hillary because I know what a sleazy, snake-like criminal she is. But I'm going to tell you,
she didn't hide it as much.
I wouldn't argue with Hillary Clinton in a public forum because she's smarter than me. If Joe Biden called this show tomorrow, I would dissect anything that idiotic old man wanted to talk about because he doesn't know crap. Joe Biden is an idiot. And if you people vote for him, you're idiots.
And he's as dirty and sleazy as the Clintons. Just wasn't smart enough to set up a family foundation. Instead, he just sent his kids to all.
Got to pay something to daddy.
Yeah.
And if your kid's out there saying that about you, well, it turns out, see, Hunter was really lying. He was trying to leverage it for a better deal. Well, guess what? Then run your own family before you try to run my country.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
that guy,
there was nobody in Mexico that wasn't joking and laughing about Joe Biden. Pat Irby says he's heading to Cabo Thursday. Good for you, Pat. Go see our friends at Sancho's right there at the K-Dock on the marina. Fantastic. And I'm not even worked up about it. I'm just like, I'm challenging the left. Reach out. Where's the left's leadership? You know you're going to lose in Victoria. You know you're going to lose this state. Man, move to California and enjoy it. Get out there and eat some pine nuts and have a blast with all those people. Get out of here.
Where's the COVID relief for the Dallas Cowboys?
They need some help. I tell you what, the idea of the Democrats trying to block this election would be like the Cowboys saying, well, we don't want to play the Redskins right now because we don't have Dak. It's not fair. No, it's on the schedule. It's part of the season. You got to play the game. No. We didn't know this was going to happen. We don't want to play the Redskins. The fact they got beat by the Redskins tells you a lot about how badly they are performing.
Yeah. Terrible team.
They're terrible. They're a terrible, terrible football team. They are 4 or 5 seasons away from competing with Tampa Bay, Tennessee Titans, Pittsburgh. Did you see where Seattle came back and lost yesterday?
Yeah, they did. So that just leaves Pittsburgh as the only undefeated team in the NFL.
Did San Diego lose as well?
I don't
I think San Diego was like way ahead, and then they won. Brother Gary's out there. He's telling, look, we're going to get back in Ralph's good graces and get out of here. If you formulate, make you some notes. Come represent the left on our show. I mean, Emmett Alvarez is a great guy. He's a friend of mine. He is an unashamed leftist. Come in here and talk to us about. I want Emmett Alvarez to come in here and talk to me about Donald Trump not being a good guy.
Victoria East would beat Dallas, Jeff Fonseca says.
Probably. They got smoked by West.
Chris Conrad says there's no defense at all at Texas.
Yeah. Texas Longhorns won the other day. Who cares? Baylor. See, this is what I try to tell people. Baylor did that little blip, and now they're back down to being Baylor.
I pick Baylor.
Yeah. They're doing a little blip. That's just the way it is. I always tell people that Texas highs are higher than most everybody else's, and their lows appear to be much lower, but Baylor's back to being Baylor. Now we need TCU, Iowa State, Oklahoma. If they could all just drop back, we'd be okay. Horns are terrible. Aggies had the week off. Cowboys and Texans lost. Unbelievable. Did you see where Antonio Brown signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks? Whose place is he going to take? They're loaded at wide receiver.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter, does it?
How about the World Series? That's turning into an exciting series.
Is Clayton Kershaw your MVP? He's got 2 wins.
Most career strikeouts in the postseason.
I would have thought
Tom
Andy
Justin
Pettit would
Verlander.
have that. I would have thought Andy Pettit had the most career strikeouts. It was a great
206,
playoff.
I think. Isn't that what he left the game with yesterday, a career?
It's a lot.
I mean, not yesterday, but I think 206 in his career in the postseason.
Tom Brady passed Drew Brees, both active. Passed Drew Brees for the all-time lead in passing touchdowns with like 9,600 something.
And Breeze play yesterday?
I don't know. Man.
That could be one of those duels that goes on all season. That'll be fun to watch.
Took Tom Brady a couple of games to get Tampa Bay, but I think those guys at Tampa Bay look at Tom Brady and go, he's a god.
Took Cam Newton a couple of games to
Become Cam Newton again.
Yeah. I thought he might have been able to step in but the Pats, boy.
Well, one thing they've said is that when Tom Brady left the Patriots, there wasn't much in the cupboard. They were done. Is Edelman still there?
I don't know.
He's little,
It's the NFL.
Okay,
I
we
think the
don't care.
Cowboys aren't watching much.
Whew.
There's not a lot of games interest me anymore in that league.
That's kind of like saying, yeah, I don't do drugs, except crack. That's the only one I do. I mean, it's like
I'm addicted to the Cowboys.
just say, all I watch is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, really? Wow, that's the only game I watch.
Misery loves
I
company.
like to watch bad football. All right, folks, have a great day. We love you.